to the Harry Chapin celebration of his 75th anniversary birthday. It's not anniversary; it's birthday. And yeah, anyways, we've got our next interview with one I've been looking forward to all day because it involves two things that I love most, and that's music and comedy. And to our stage here is Scott Saalman, and he's organizer of the Will Read and Sing for Food. How are you doing today, Scott?
I'm so glad to be here. It's been a great day. I've been watching you all off and on today. You guys must be tired.
Yeah, we're getting a little punchy. But, what a great way to end it, right? So
Yeah, right.
we're getting close to wrapping up. But it's really amazing, kind of reading a little bit of your backstory that I'd love for you to tell about how you kind of came up with this idea of putting these things together, which might seem like odd kind of pieces to put together, but all, for the inspiration that Harry provided.
Sure. Oh yeah. The inspiration began when in the 70s when I was a kid, and my uncle wanted me to keep listening to the Harry Chapin The Live Stories album and introduced me, and I really liked it. Never got to see Harry, but I was always impressed hearing about he would encourage people to bring canned goods to the concerts. There was one near us in Evansville, Indiana. I did not get to go because I was too young, I guess. But I remember, wow, bring in the canned goods. We'll give it to the local food bank. And I'm talking to you about that right now.
Right.
I'm actually planting a seed right there. But then as years go on and you hear more and more, and it took me quite a few years to eventually start volunteering for the food bank here in Jasper, Indiana on Wednesday nights. Bag groceries, stock shelves. And I got to thinking, man, I could do more than this. Anybody can do this. And I had a humor column that I write and have these published here and there. And I always like to read funny stuff, hear an audience instead of them reading in the newspapers or whatever. And decided I wanted to do that. Realized I also needed to include musicians, or only my mom maybe would come and see me. So then we got the moms of musicians to come. And so then we're getting, maybe 10 people to show. But we also knew that we got to do it for the food bank, and that's that becomes then people are coming then, and we grew from there. We started with four couple musicians and a couple of writers, and we grew from that to we're in our 7th season now. We branched out. Yeah, we branched out. We did food bank for a while. It was just asking for can donations. People start bringing money instead, and that was like, wow, I can count this money versus weighing food every time. And so we just started charging $10 a head, and that fishbowl kept getting filled up with these green fish, man, and being able to finally realize, wow, I can quantify this, and started setting financial goals, and we eventually spread out to widen our audience. We realized we needed to go to other nonprofits and not just the food bank. Ultimately, those folks who would come to, say, a Habitat Humanity show would see us, and then they'd start coming to the food bank shows, and vice versa. And now we're up. I just counted before we came here, and we've helped over 45 charities in southern Indiana, plus one recently in St. Croix. We did a couple hurricane relief shows, and so we're on 124 shows. And $118,000 raised that's been divided between these 45 charities. Harry, here in Jasper, Indiana, just some silly teenage boy really liking this live album. And all these years later, the magic of Harry Chapin, I guess, wow, here we are now. Not only was it hunger, though, it spread out to all these things, and it just, I'm actually speechless that we're still doing this. We've had over 100 musicians and writers in the show. Harry's daughter, Jen, has been in our show twice. Jen and I became friends, and she was just down here this summer to help us raise some money for an arts center. And she came down maybe 4 years ago, and it was it was for a food bank, the food bank show, and she still holds the record for the most money raised on one night.
Is that right?
So yeah, so that was really cool, and gotten to know her, and had dinner with her when I was in New York for my first time this year. I met her in Brooklyn, and we talked, and so it was good, great things, beyond the money. It's been these connections people have developed, all these musicians, and you know about it in that business, and just the friendships that have evolved. And just through Jen, I've met people like the actress Bernadette Quigley, and just all these people that I would never, without this show and without Harry's inspiration. Makes me a happy guy.
Yeah, I guess so. So tell us, give us kind of what the event is like, how you kind of weave in, the comedy portion with the music portion. How, for those who haven't had a chance to attend.
Right. Well, a lot of people will immediately say, "Oh, Prairie Home Companion." So yeah. But it's that type of ensemble. It's basically 5 or 6 musicians. I have some core musicians that are always with me, and then the guests that come in. So there might be 6, 7 musicians sharing the stage, and you have Jen come down. They know there's going to be 4 songs probably, and they're going to wait their turns. We're just trading song story throughout, because the short attention span of people these days, including me, I got to keep mixing it up, make them laugh, make them dance, make them laugh, and it gets us through 90 minutes or so, and people come back. So it's really that simple. It's a couple of songs, a story, a couple of songs, a story, and it's funny stuff. I found some very good writers, and the music. It's one of our taglines is "so much talent, so close to home," and it's true. You say that anywhere you go. These folks who have this musical talent, it just blows your mind. You don't know they're there until you do things like this.
Right.
Have a tape.
Right. No, it is. It is mind blowing how much talent there is out there, and they're always looking for a stage a bit just to kind of get out there, and it's just I'm sure you have found as well. There's just a great opportunity just to get out there and, like you said, meet with the community, and that just leads on to better things. It's a win for everybody.
Oh yeah, it's great. I think for the musicians, a lot of them play the bars and nobody's listening, and they're not going to listen to the originals. But we have a listening show, and people come here and know that they're going to sit and listen to these guys. I think musicians love that, and so we're all happy, and I'm blessed with these folks that do it for free.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and that it does kind of give you a little bit of faith in humankind again when you get involved in these things. I'm sure you found
every show. I mean, we just did this hurricane relief show we have a reggae guy who came from St. Croix, the Virgin Islands, and lives in this area now, and not because Indiana is the reggae capital of the world, mind you, but this guy is the real deal. He's played with Ziggy Marley, and chased his family, I guess, here, but his parents, the Hurricane Category 5 Maria, this summer destroyed his parents' house, and we really like Zion, and said, Zion, we're going to do 2 shows for you, and for his. So we raised, a couple $1,000s, which enabled him to send a big generator down there, because that's the hot item, I guess, right now. And
yeah, absolutely.
Probably costs just as much to mail it than to buy it, but he sent me a picture 2 days ago of the family standing by the generator, and that's good. You get to see a face of someone who has benefits from what we're doing.
Absolutely. Was there any particular Harry song that kind of motivated you, or that you really relate to, since you didn't get to see him live, which
right? Well, obviously I knew the hits, but the one that stays in my mind over more recently, because I'm the father of a daughter, is Tangled Up Puppet.
Yep.
And I actually wrote a column about that and how it related to me and my daughter, and Sandy and Jen told me how that story came about, and so I got quotes from them, and so that song makes me cry every time.
Oh, I know. It is. I'm with you. That's definitely probably one of the top 2 or 3 for me.
Oh yeah, and I got to see Mr. Tanner today, man. You guys made that happen. Woo! That's exciting.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, this has been great. Thanks so much for sharing some time with us today. It's just I'm just in awe of what you're doing there.
Well, thanks.
And Indiana's got to be proud with all the great work you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep the circle going.
It's dollar by dollar, show by show, man.
There you go. All right. Well, we're coming up. We're down, and we got one more interview for the day. But we don't want everybody to forget about the website betterplacetobe.org, and from there you can go and actually see a few things that we have available, and hopefully you can kind of take a look at some of those and think about, hey, maybe there's some nice holiday gifts that you might want to provide to some of your family and friends. That could be a CD, it could be a DVD, maybe a fan pack. They're only like $10 with some really cool stuff in it, like a photo album. And then there's some, for those who are being very generous today, there's some framed platinum and gold albums that are just really, really special. So think about that. And on top of that, any efforts you do put forth are going to be doubled. There's a matching pledge right now of $5,000. And so every dollar you might be able to provide will actually be $2. So give it some thought. So Scott, thanks so much. And keep it going, buddy. And we'll be checking in with you later.
Same to you guys. You're an inspiration. Thanks, Bill and Mike.
All right. We'll be back in 5.